Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So I don't regularly do TBR videos, but I am participating in multiple readathons throughout the month of August and kind of have been working on sketching a TBR out. So I thought I should probably tell you guys what that's going to be. So let's just dive right in. As I mentioned, I'm going to be participating in multiple readathons. The first one that I will be participating in, I'm actually one of the hosts for the Enneagram Readathon. I'm super excited because this is a 2-week long readathon for the first 2 weeks of August. It is a competition between the different Enneagram types. I did a whole announcement video, which I will link up in the cards and down in the description, but I'm super excited. I am Team 3. You should definitely come and participate and obviously join the winning team, Team 3. I also did sign up for the Tropeical Readathon, the team romance, which I have done twice before in the past and really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to try to go a little lighter in that this time. I have not picked out a book for every single prompt. And then today I saw an announcement for the Dark Romance Readathon. It's a weekend long, or like a 4-day, Friday through Monday weekend readathon for Dark Romance that some of my good booktube friends are hosting. So I will leave a link to their announcement videos in the cards and down in the description. So I'm trying to make books count in August for multiple readathons, and I also am in bunches of book clubs, and it's just a hot mess. So let's dive in to what I've planned out. For the Enneagram Readathon, I am the host of Team 3, and each of the teams has chosen 3 prompts that exemplify characteristics of that Enneagram type, and also each team has a buddy read. So my buddy read for Team 3 is The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. I am excited to dive into this. My friend gifted me this copy like a year ago, but I'm kind of excited to dive in. It is a fantasy new adult, maybe. It seems like there's sort of a heavy romance in it, but it says right on the inside cover that the main female character, intends to woo the Shadow King, marry him, kill him, and take the kingdom for herself. So this is the buddy read team book for Team 3 of the Enneagram Readathon, and so I definitely want to be getting to this. Also, I hope to, for the Tropeical Readathon, this is going to satisfy the buddy read prompt. The next prompt for Team 3 is read a book with an ambitious character, and I intend to read The Things We Leave Unfinished. This is by Rebecca Yarros. I don't actually know that much about this book. I think it's sort of a women's fiction romance, but it sounds like, based on the description, there is a character who is a writer who is quickly climbing the recognition list, the bestseller list, and is determined to continue that spree. So I thought that's pretty ambitious. I also don't know that much about this book, so The Things We Leave Unfinished. Also, that will count for the multiple points of view prompt for the Tropeical Readathon. The next prompt that is part of the Enneagram Team 3 prompts is a book where a character discovers their identity. And for this, I've chosen Chasing Redbird by Sharon Creech. This is a book that I read years and years and years ago, I think when I was like 12 or 13. So I don't remember a ton of it, but I remember really liking it. I think our main character is like 13 or 14 or 15, and she's sort of coming of age, and she's dealing with changing family dynamics. I think there might be a family member death. But I remember really liking this book, and I've been wanting to reread some things from my childhood, and also for the Tropeical Readathon, this will satisfy the prompt of a book that's been published before the year 2000. So that's going to be my Discovers Her Identity coming of age book for the Enneagram Readathon. The third and final prompt that is Team 3 specific for the Enneagram Readathon is read a book with a game or a competition or a challenge in it. And for this, I have chosen Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. I don't know a ton about this. It looks kind of fantasy thriller, fantasy scary. I don't know. That's just me going like based off of the cover. I have seen love for this on the internet before, but I literally don't know that much about it other than there's like necromancy involved. I am also reading this for one of my real life book clubs, and so I was excited to see that it has some sort of competition element so that I could use it for the Enneagram Readathon. And I don't know what Tropeical Readathon prompt this will fit. I have the book on audio, so it could be that. This is not my typical genre, so it could be that prompt. I'm kind of leaving that one open just to see kind of where things fall by the end of the month. And then if I manage to finish all 4 of those books mentioned in the first 2 weeks, you can then move on to other prompts from other teams to earn more points for your team for the Enneagram Readathon. So I am intrigued by Team 7's buddy read book, The Push by Audrain, which is a sort of psychological thriller that also maybe has to do with motherhood and gaslighting, and it looked kind of interesting. And I thought, okay, well, if I have time, I will jump into that book to get more points for my team. And that would satisfy the prop for the Tropeical Readathon of a book published in 2021. I was immediately excited when my friends on BookTube announced that they're doing a dark romance readathon in August. I do not have very much experience with dark romance, but I find the idea very interesting. I especially enjoyed the discussion that I watched recently, I think on Heather's channel, Heather from HEA Booktubes, who's also one of the hosts of this. She hosted a discussion not that long ago, within the last month or so, about kind of lines in dark romance and sort of what is a classification of dark romance. It was a very interesting live stream and a topic that I thought was really cool. So a lot of what is sort of dark for one person might not be considered very dark for other people. It's a whole range. But for the most part, I don't have a ton of experience in this subgenre. So I did pick 2 books that I kind of hope to dip my toes in that weekend. So I've heard a ton of great things about Neon Gods by Katee Roberts. I think this is a dark romance. I think it's also a Hades and Persephone retelling, so I would use it for the retelling prompt for the Tropeical Readathon. And I think it's dark because there's sort of like a, I don't want to say like a captive, like Persephone's kind of Hades' captive, and I think there's also sort of possible kinkiness, not that kink is dark, but I don't know, I think that it's like, I think Hades runs like a mafia or like an underground crime ring or something. So I'm going to categorize that as dark romance, and all my friends can correct me down in the comments. But I would like to give Katee Roberts another chance. And then also highly recommended by Tanika, one of the hosts of this weekend-long readathon. She said that she recommended a book that would satisfy all of the prompts that they have come up with for the readathon, and that is First Comes Blood by Lilith Vincent, who I think is a pseudonym or a pen name for one of Tanika's like all-time favorite authors, Brianna Hale. So based on all of the descriptions of the prompts that they have, which I have, like, do I want to read a book with gun or knife play? Do I want to read a book with dubious consent? Ooh, we're starting to push some of my boundaries that I have yet to find something that's amazing that would satisfy those prompts. But I think I'm going to give First Comes Blood a try, and that would be the 2 books that I'm hoping to, that ideally I could read in that weekend. I did mention signing up for Tropeical Readathon, and I joined Team Romance, which has 2 team books as options for you to read for the sort of buddy read for the team. And I'm leaning more toward XOXO by Axie Oh, but the other book was by Mia Sosa. I'm going to put it on the screen. I cannot remember what it is, but I felt like I've heard more mixed results on the other books, so I'm kind of leaning XOXO. The 2 prompts that are like team prompts that are worth more for Team Romance for the Tropeical Readathon are read a sports romance and read a second chance romance. I feel like I've read a bunch of sports romance recently. I'm actually right now currently in the middle of the second book of the Check Please series, which I'm really enjoying, which is a sports romance. But generally I don't super love sports romances. And even though I have a bunch of romances checked out from the library, I have like Soulmate Equation, Intimacy Experiment, Accidentally Engaged, a couple mangas lying around. I don't think any of them are a sports romance or a second chance romance. Second chance romance is not typically my favorite. So if you have any recommendations for either of those prompts that you super loved, leave those down in the comments, because I am still looking for books to fulfill those prompts. I did just right before I started filming, I was like, oh, a Heartstopper. I only ever read volume 1. Maybe I should continue that, which I think is a sports romance, might be stretching it, but I think they do play rugby or soccer or something together, so I might count that as my sports romance. But I would love some recommendations, so leave those down in the comments. And finally, I do participate in sort of real life book clubs where I go and meet people in person. And so the 3 books that I know I'm going to be reading in the month of August for those real life book clubs are Leave the World Behind by Rumaan, which I don't know that much about. I heard some sort of reviews about it, and it also kind of has a lower rating, lower than my threshold on Goodreads, but that's what the book club picked, so I'm going to at least give it a shot. And then the other book club is The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes, which I have read a couple of other books by Jojo Moyes. I read Me Before You and the sequel to that, and I remember liking the writing pretty well, so I'm kind of excited to jump into The Giver of Stars. And also, September 1st is the first Wednesday of September, and so I have to read that book club's book in August, or else I won't make it. So I have We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler for that book club meeting. For some reason, I don't remember anything about this right now, so like, sorry I'm not giving you a summary, but I remember when I read the summary kind of being underwhelmed, but I don't have prompts for the Tropeical Readathon for any of those books because I don't really know that much about any of those books. And part of me, like the completionist part of me, wants to go through more of the prompts for Tropeical Readathon and find something really great for all of them. I just am trying to be realistic with how many books I could finish in a month, and I feel like everything that I've already named so far in this list, plus, you know, the sports romance and the second chance romance, is going to max me out. Like, I'm just trying to be realistic. And that's not even saying the books that I have checked out from the library and have had checked out from the library for a long time that are definitely overdue already. And those aren't even on my list. So, just trying to be realistic here. Even though I want to read all of the things, all of the time. I want to read everything. So there you have it. Those are some of the books that I intend to read in August. Don't forget to leave me recommendations for sports romances and second chance romances down in the comments. And if you definitely think I should not read any of the books that I have mentioned today, or you cannot wait for one of the books that I did mention today, leave that down in the comments also. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if that's something you want to do, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!